Hey everybody, Lord Tremendous here, and I got another battle report here for you. I'm back from vacation. I went to Disney World with my family, had a bunch of fun. I'm exhausted, I'm broke, but I got a lot of good memories, and it was a lot of fun. So, I guess it all worked out in the end. And I'm going back to battle reports because they're free! But I got a little bit of an older one, May 31st, 2,500 point battle report number 223. Tis I, Lord Tremendous of the Undead Legion, versus Sex Panther of the Thankful Legions of Chaos. This is once again basically me going up against the Bloodthirster of Endless Rage, which means you guys get to see that amazing model, and you get to see how basically the entire game goes, because that's kind of the purpose of a battle report, in case this is the first one you've ever seen. So sit back, relax, and get ready to see how this slightly exhausted, broke, and, well, caffeinated individual tells you how this one goes.
Assemble the army!
Here's my list, and it's the same as the last one because I have not changed it. I have my Vampire Lord, Lord Tremendous. He's a level 3 wizard with a 100% catch the cannonball rate. He's got heavy armor and shield, which does nothing against the cannonball. He is still on a Coven throne because I like the damn thing. He's got the Sword of Might, Dragon Helm, Talisman of Preservation, Other Trickster Shard, Aura of Dark Majesty, Red Fury, and the Lore of Shadow. I have a Master Necromancer, Queen Elizabeth. She's a level 4 wizard with a Dispel Scroll and using the Lore of Vampires. My hero choices are a Tomb Prince, Dark Vincent, with a great weapon in the Armor of Destiny, and a Tomb Herald, Sinister Jeffrey, with the Sword of Antiheroes, Charm Shield, Cedar Rebirth, and the Iron Curse icon. My core choices are 5 Direwolves, 5 Skeleton Horsemen Archers with a banner, 5 Skeleton Horsemen Archers with a banner. That's right, 2 of the same units. I like the Scouts, what can I tell you? 58 Skeleton Warriors, the Fateless, with full command, hand weapon, and shield, and 13 Skeleton Archers, the Queen's Guard, with full command. My special choices are 10 Black Knights, Tarnished Valor, with full command, Barded Lances, and a Banner of Swiftness, 1 Spirit Host, the Whisperers of Pain, and my rare choices are the Black Coach and the Casket of Souls, or the Altar Tremendous, however you want to say it. My opponent's list, I think, for the most part, is... Well, no, it has changed. He actually added some wizards, or a wizard, I should say. He still has his Bloodthirster of Insensate Rage. The greater gift he got for this one was Soul Eater, and the lesser gift he got was Noxious Breath. He also has a Great Bray Shaman, who is a level 4 wizard with the Dispel Scroll, Talisman of Preservation, Iron Curse icon, Gnarled Hide, and he uses the Lore of Beasts. He threw the level 4 in there because he realized having no magic whatsoever doesn't really work out, even with the broken Chaos chart, Rain the Chaos chart, whatever it is. His hero choices are a Herald of Corn, who's his BSB. He's got the Exalted Locus of Wrath, which basically gives him and the unit hatred. He's got the lesser gift Blade of Blood and another lesser gift Skill Swallower, I think. His core choices are core choice anyway is 42 Bloodletters with full command on the Banner of Swiftness. His special choices are 20 Bestigors with the Mark of Corn, heavy armor, great weapons, full command, uncanny senses, and the Gleaming Pendant. He also has a unit of 5 Fleshhounds. His rare choices are the Doom Wheel and the Warp Lightning Cannon, because Skaven like to hang out with Chaos now. Here are my spells, which are exactly what you're looking at. And here are his spells, which are exactly what you're looking at. Also, you can see his Bloodthirster and his Herald of Corn, their gifts, in case, I don't know, they weren't obvious enough during me reading them off from his army list. Here's deployment, and for the most part, my idea was the Black Coach and my general were going to try to hit the Bloodthirster of Insensate Rage. It also gave, I know his cannon was going to shoot at one of the 3, so might as well put him over there. My Skeleton Warriors were eventually going to have to deal with his Bloodthirsters. My archers with my queen, my master necromancer in there, their job was going to be to just try to do as much damage as they could. I figured he had magic res everywhere, so what was I going to do? My casket was really just going to give me plus D3 power dice. That was really it. Also, my dogs, I placed my casket, then he placed his Doom Wheel, which was stupid on my part. But hey, stupid's kind of my motto. My dogs, therefore, were set out over there to just take as many hits as they could from the Doom Wheel before it got a hold of my casket. I was kind of hoping that my casket would take out the Doom Wheel, but you'll see how that goes. And other than that, my scouts are on the far left flank there. Their job is to take out that Warp Lightning Cannon as soon as possible. That, my friends, was my plan. Here's Panther's right flank, which consists of my 2 units of Blurry Scouts and his Warp Lightning Cannon. Here's his center, which consists of his Bloodthirster of Awesomeness, his Bloodletters with Herald of Khorne installed, his Bestigors with Bray Shaman installed, and his Fleshhounds. And here's his left flank, which consists of his Doom Wheel. Here's my right flank with my dogs and I believe my casket. And here's my center. From right to left, there's my Spirit Host, my Archers with level 4, my Skeleton Warriors with Prince and Herald, my proxied Black Coach, and of course my General on his Coven Throne. And here's my left flank, which consists of my Black Knights. Here's top of 1 after movement, and I didn't get to go first. I'm kind of getting used to that. The Doom Wheel came up like 17 inches, which was absolutely... Sorry, microphone kind of broke there for a second. His Doom Wheel came up like 17 inches, which was insane, and the rest of his army just moved up pretty much as fast as it could. Minus the Bloodthirster, he kind of angled funny. I guess he wanted to be close enough that he could charge, but he didn't want to be so close that I could easily charge him. Not a terrible idea. During his magic phase, he gets the Curse of Anafir off, whatever that lore beast spell that basically makes it that all terrain is dangerous terrain and you fail it on a 1 or a 2. So I was like, that stinks, but there's worse spells to stop. So I would have stopped this one, but it was Irresistible Force. And like I said, it was Irresistible Force, and he ends up miscasting 8. Not that it's a big deal, though, because either I roll a 1 to wound a thing, or he makes some sort of ward save for it. Either way, the wound doesn't go through, and he loses some magic dice, but who cares? He got the spell off. Then in his shooting phase, the Doom Wheel decides to misfire, which was just outstanding, because it ends up firing like 15 inches back towards the forest, and ends up right where you see it. And it's moved up a little bit further. So yeah, it's one of those things where he's almost in the forest. As you can see, he's really close. He's actually north in this picture, about an inch. It just slipped up. When he moved the trees out of the way, he nudged it. So it's actually about an inch further up. So when he wheels, there's a chance he'll hit the forest and have to worry about that because, chariots and anything that's not level terrain have a tendency of freaking out. But anyway, that's where he ended up. And his Warp Lightning Cannon fires, but it ends up just doing the butterfly kisses, which is kind of nice. So we go over here to bottom of 1 after movement, and I back the hell up. Even my Black Knights back up, and believe it or not, I don't roll any 1s or 2s, which is effing amazing. I don't mind telling you. But yeah, everything backs up because everything in his army is geared for close combat, and I don't have an answer to that at all. My scouts move up I think just kind of to get away from the board edge, I move them up like half an inch. Other than that, though, their job was just going to be to shoot the hell out of this Warp Lightning Cannon. I probably should have charged it, but with this general right there, I just figured it wasn't worth it. So I just kind of kept him in the back. Nothing happens during my magic phase. He scrolls the 1 spell that would have done anything to him, which I believe was Curse of Years, and that's it. My shooting does nothing. My magic is stopped or is inconsequential completely. So we go over here to top of 2 after movement, and lo and behold, he comes forward some more. His Bloodletters and his Bloodthirster tried to charge. His letters went after my Skeleton Warriors and failed. His Bloodthirster went after my General and also failed. So they moved up like 3 or 4 inches each. His Doom Wheel turned to face, towards the right or whatever, but when he did so, he clipped the forest and rolled a 1, and he took 4 wounds for his trouble, because chariots, when they take dangerous terrain checks, take d6 wounds, no armor save. He took 4 wounds, rolled 4 dice, rolled a 1, and ended up almost slamming into the house, as you can see in this picture. which was really, really good because it's beating the crap out of itself, which is kind of nice. And that's pretty Skaven-y in my opinion. Other than that, his Fleshhounds came running up because they want to eat them some archers and possibly a caster. And the rest of his army, which is really just the Bestigors, move up a little bit because they want some battle too. There's a better picture of Doomwheel beating the crap out of itself in the forest. And there's a better picture of his Bloodthirster and his Bloodletters failing a charge. During his magic phase, he gets a bunch of augments off on his Bloodletters and his Herald of Corn, and I don't care because I have no intention of seeing them in combat this turn. And then during the shooting phase, his Doomwheel fires and kills 2 of my dogs, which is sad. On a happier note, though, his Warp Lightning Cannon fires, misfires 2, and explodes. Yeah, that was nice because the way I'm rolling, I'm not going to be able to take this thing out by myself. So thank God Sex Panther's dices are on my team this game, which is awesome because when they're on his team, I can't get any wounds through. They're just invulnerable. With all that said and done, we go over here to bottom of 2 after movement, and as you can see, I back up further. I'm basically right up against the board edge. Even my Skeleton Warriors, as you can see, my movement tray is hanging over the ledge a little bit. My Spirit Host moves up in such a way that I'm going to try to angle the dogs away from my archers, buying them another turn. The Scouts run up to just try to harass his Bloodthirster because it's the only thing they can see. Everything else backs up in hopes that he fails another charge because I'm just not ready to charge yet. And also, I forgot to mention in my last turn when I rolled my power dice, my coach soaked up 6 power dice. Not that it soaked it up, but it powered up 5 times. Not 6, I'm sorry. 5, so it's got from the 1 to 6 chart, it's all the way up to 5 already, which is really cool. I'm really excited to see what it does. This would be a great army to face against it, so I'm really hoping that the black coach does more than it did last game, or anything, because it didn't do anything last game but die. So I'm really hoping that last game was just a fluke, because I'd really like to have it in the army, but if not, well, that's too bad for the coach. During the magic phase, I get Curse Years off on his Bloodletters, and due to his 5-up ward and his insane... He's got a ward save in there. I'm not sure if it's from... I don't know where the magic resistance is coming from, but he's got it in there somewhere. It's Khorne, so it's not hard to believe. And he makes every ward save that's required because he's Sex Panther. So while the spell is on there, there's no damage done to the unit. And then over here, the shooting from my archers is able to do 1 wound to his Fleshhounds because even Sex Panther can't roll that many 5-up ward saves all at the same time. With nothing else relevant to talk about, we go over here to top of 3 after movement, and there are more failed charges. The Bloodthirster fails and goes like an inch. The Bloodletters fail and go a few inches. The Fleshhounds don't fail and slam into my Spirit Host, which is what it is. And his Doomwheel continues to careen out of control towards the right. Well, I guess it's not out of control, but it does kind of go that direction towards the my right flank board edge, just to get around the dogs, I think. And that's really about it. There's a better picture of his Fleshhound slamming into my Spirit Host, and that's too bad for them. And there's a better picture of his Bloodletters and Thirster failing a charge yet again, and that's too bad for them as well. During the magic phase, the Reign of Chaos chart ends up going off. It hits a bunch of my units and does 2 scouts in for all its trouble. Yeah, nothing like freeze spells at the beginning of the turn. After his magic phase is all said and done, I'm able to stop it all. However, he forgets all about Curse of Years. It goes off, and I think 6 or 7 Bloodletters die this time, which is nice. It's better than last time. And then we go into combat, and the Fleshhounds tear apart my Spirit Host, which is too bad for them. With all that said and done, we go over here to bottom of 3 after movement, and I get sick of backing up. I'm packed up into a corner, I can't run away anymore, I've peed myself, and I charged. The Black Coach and the Skeleton Warriors slam into the Bloodletters, and the hope there is to just beat them unmerciful. Hopefully the impetus of the charge takes away any bonuses they would get, like the +1 strength, the +1 to combat res, all that garbage. The Black Coach hopefully will do a bunch of wounds due to impact hits. I hope. And then my general and then Black Knights charge into his Bloodthirster. The hope there is he gets into a challenge with my general. He can't kill my general with charge, banner, high ground, and hopefully a wound or two. I'm able to destroy the Bloodthirster. You know, Red Fury is a thing. I don't have Always Strikes First, but I'm really, really hoping to get the Coven Throne spell off and let me reroll the hit. That would be great. So the hope is the Bloodthirster dies before it can even attack. Kind of hoping. We'll see. My archers move up to deal with the Flesh Hounds because my level 4 has bailed out of the unit. My dogs kind of forget what they were doing because I'm an idiot and they move away from the Doom Wheel, which is a mistake on my part. And my scouts move up just to try to find a target to shoot at. There's a better picture of my Skeleton Warriors and my Black Coach proxy slamming into the Bloodletters, and I'm really, really hoping that the Black Coach does something good this turn. And there's a better picture of my General and the Black Knight slamming into the Bloodthirster, and I'm hoping Combat Res alone is enough to vaporize this thing, because it's annoyingly scary. During the magic phase, I just threw 2 dice at this spell. Malakos Mystifying Miasma. I was like, here's 2 dice at it. I'm trying. I mean, I didn't say this to him, but I was trying to pull the spell dice. I didn't care about this spell going off. I was like, yeah, I know you got a great weapon, so initiative's stupid. So I'm going to try to lower your weapon skill. It was a feint, and it went off Irresistible Force. I threw 2 flippin' dice at it, and it goes off Irresistible Force. And I miscast 8, which is not as bad as it could have been, but it was 2 dice. Why did it have to be boxcars on this feint spell? You know what I mean?
No! You must not read from the book!
Yeah, so in the end, I ended up hurting Queen Elizabeth. She took a wound. And, of course, my general took a wound. Went right past my ward save. And although it was great that, you know, I lowered his weapon skill by 2, he still needs 3s to hit me. Because I think his weapon skill, 8 or whatever it is, to my weapon skill 7. It's just unbelievable. But I threw 2 dice at it. Of course, then I rolled a 6 to end my magic phase for how many power dice were lost. Just really frustrating. Nothing happens in shooting, so we go into combat. And once again, my general cannot wait to die horribly. He dives in front of the Bloodthirster's axe and gets cut into quarters because reasons. However, he was able to do 4 wounds to the Bloodthirster before he dove in front of the axe because his thought was maybe my armor will dull the blade enough that it won't hurt. Which was, I mean, possibly true. I don't know. But with charge, banner, rank, high ground, and 4 wounds to, I think it was, he did exactly 3 wounds to me. And that's what really upsets me. My general did have a wound on him already, I'll grant you that. But he only wounded me 3 times. I should have made at least one of those should have been a ward save, and I rolled a 1 and 2 2s. It's just like, come on. So, yeah, my general, once again, at least it wasn't a cannonball, I'll give you that. And he did die to a Bloodthirster of Insensate Rage, but at this point, I'm so frustrated with my dice, I want to grant them, you know, temporary life just so I can beat them to death. Unfortunately, though, that's not how it worked out. I did win this combat. The Bloodthirster did explode, but I lost my general. Still have the Coven Throne, lost my general, and I died a little on the inside. This is the way the combat ended up in the end. My Black Knights shot forward a handful of inches. I was hoping to bounce through the scouts and the dangerous or the impassable terrain so that they could be over there and then reform and get around and hit the Bestigors in the rear or the flank or anything. But instead, they went forward like 6 inches. The good part about that, though, was my Coven Throne was able to spin around and face the Bloodletters to hopefully get into that combat with the Skeleton Warriors in a turn, provided they're still there. But we will see. And then with combat over here, not terrible. I think I lost 8 skeletons. He lost like 6 or 7 bloodletters. But I gotta be honest with you, the Black Coach did basically nothing. This was all my characters. I did lose my Herald to Killing Blow. Not a surprise. My Tomb Prince survived, which was awesome. The Armor of Destiny had nothing to do with it whatsoever. The Bloodletters just failed to wound him completely. It was actually kind of funny. My unit champion sacrificed himself nobly to the Herald of Corn, and that was hilarious. But yeah, the bloodletters did focus some attacks on my characters and got my Herald dead. So it was unfortunate, but it is what it is. The Black Coach, though, did 2 impact hits, both of which either didn't wound or were ward saved. The piddly 5 attacks or whatever that it got total didn't do anything. This was all skeleton warriors and characters. So Black Coach is 0 for 2 as far as I'm concerned, and that's not a good look for him. With my brooding out of the way, we go over here to top of 4 after movement, and his Fleshhounds charge my Skeleton Archers, and his Bestigors charge into the flank of my Skeleton Warriors, and that's so bad. Meanwhile, his Doom Wheel comes running towards my casket, and the rest of his army is just kind of in combat or dead. Nothing happens in a match phase, so we go into shooting, and his Doom Wheel is able to destroy the rest of my dogs. They were the closest, so what it was. The dogs died doing what they're supposed to do, be a distraction, annoyance, nuisance, whatever you want to call them. They did their job, and good on them. And then we went to combat over here, and the archers actually did really, really well. They did obviously nothing back to the Fleshhounds. They're weapon skill 2, strength 3. They're not going to do nothing. Not against Sex Panther and his ability to roll saves. But yeah, with charge and a handful of wounds to, I think all I had was a banner. I ended up losing. I lost 6 skeleton warriors in total to this combat after combat res, which means they'll stick around for another turn, which isn't so bad. Over here, however, this is horrendous. I am weapon skill 5 right now, and these guys, Sex Panther, could not fail. With Primal Fury, Hatred on his Bestigor unit, every single attack he got hit. Every single attack he had wounded. And I don't remember how many he had. Like, what was it? 4, 8... 12 maybe 12 attacks, 12 13 attacks. There might have been unit champion in there. 13 attacks, all of them hit, all of them wounded, and the skeleton warriors don't get a parry save from the flank. It was horrendous. The bloodletters did not do terrible. My skeleton warriors, they tried, but keep in mind they're only skeleton warriors. Strength 3 is not impressive. I think I killed a few, 2 or 3 bestigors and 2 or 3 bloodletters. It was not many, and in the end I have 22 skeleton warriors left and my tomb prince. But tomb prince was doing really well, but I lost this combat by a landslide. My black coach did nothing again. That's 0 for 3 for that piece of garbage. I really don't like the black coach. Really, really don't like the black coach. Damn dice rolls, damn everything else. The black coach is pretty much a raging piece of garbage. So, yeah, at this point, Death Holy Death had swung by, and he looked at my army list and he goes, "Why did you take the black coach?" And I was like, I was curious. On paper, it looked good. And he's just like, "Wow, you're stupid." And I was like, "Yeah, I feel stupid right now." And so he kind of laughed at me about it. And I got to give it to him. He was right. I was really, really stupid to take the thing. But I'm getting what I deserve for taking it. It's a lot of points I could have put anywhere else. It would have been a lot more useful. But, oh well. Oh well. I mostly blame myself. But yeah, this combat went bad. The black coach went back into dust where it belongs, and I have a handful of skeletons left, and I don't have the magic to bring enough of them back. You know what I mean? But I don't know how to quit, so we go over here to bottom of 4 after movement, and the Coven Throne goes in. The Black Knights readjust to try to charge the Bestigors. I don't want to send them into the Bloodletters because I'm afraid of Killing Blow. They have no ability to defend against Killing Blow, so I want the Bestigors with the Black Knights, not the Bloodletters if I can avoid it. But you'll see how that goes. And that's really it. My casket turns to face the Doom Wheel. The scouts move up as much as they can, and my caster moves over a few inches just to try to keep in range of the skeleton warriors because she needs to do something in order to make them better, or I'm gonna lose horribly. There's a better picture of my Coven Throne slamming into the Bloodletters, and I'm just hoping against all hope here. During the Magic phase, I'm able to get Van Hels's Dance Macabre off on my Skeleton Warriors and my Archers, which is nice. It also goes off on the caster, but who cares? I heal her wound because why not? But that's really all I was able to get off. We go into combat, and my Archers end up, all that's left is the unit champion. There's just nothing I could do. At least they're holding strong, though. They're doing really well considering. And then over here, 150% better. The Coven Throne, just, I love that thing. I'm going to see about putting 2 more into the army somehow. I don't know where I'm going to find the points. I don't know where I'm going to do it. I don't even care. I might just put naked characters on them just so I have the Coven Throne available to me because the thing is flippin' amazing. It did its max impact hits. He didn't make enough ward saves for it to really matter. The Skeleton Warriors, they took the brunt of what was happening, but they were able to reroll their attacks, and a lot more wounds went through. And in the end, I think I won this combat. Maybe I lost. I can't remember exactly. No, I must have won because the Coven Throne doesn't have any wounds on it. So I win this combat or we draw. I don't win by much if I did win, or we draw. I can't remember which, but it definitely goes in my favor, and it's mainly because of just how awesome the Coven Throne is. So with hope still hanging in the air, we go over here to top of 5 after movement, and yeah, his Doom Wheel comes slamming into my casket. I did try to 6 dice it into his Doom Wheel. It did go off, and he rolled like 3 ones. It was absolutely mortifying, but what can you do? What can you do? I mean, that it's a dice game, and it's not like he's cheating. I should start cheating, but I don't think it would do anything to help me. But yeah, that's really it because everything else he has is deader in combat. There's a better picture of his Doom Wheel slamming into my casket, and yeah, that's really bad. During his magic phase, I'm able to stop almost everything except for the Savage Beast of Horos on his Herald of Corn, which is super bad. Nothing I'm shooting, so we go into combat, and yeah, the hope is gone. He is able to destroy my Skeleton Warriors and my Coven Throne with combat res. He's on point. Primal Fury, once again, he hits with like 85% of his attacks and wounds with all of them. His Bloodletters finish off what little is left. They get my Tomb Prints this time with Killing Blow, and it's just really bad. The Herald of Corn alone is able to kill like 5 of my Skeleton Warriors. It's really, really bad. My Coven Throne did the best that it could. It did take a handful of Bloodletters with, but Sex Panther, his 80% at a time, he makes all of his ward saves kicked in, and it was devastating. In the end, I think he won by 8, and my units implode. And you know what? Good on him. Only Sex Panther, you know? And then over here, the Fleshhounds die. No, you're not buying it? Yeah, that's because I'm lying. The unit champion Archer digs around in his empty coral for an arrow and gets eaten by one of the Fleshhounds, which is kind of funny because there's no flesh on them whatsoever. Yet the Fleshhounds were eating them. It seems like it should be illegal. I don't know. And then over here, impact hits alone just obliterate my casket. My casket does explode and does not wound anyone. The spirits could not wait to get off the battlefield. The dogs and the Doom Wheel were in range, and I rolled 2s for each of them. It wasn't meant to be. So we go over here to bottom of 5 after movement, and as you can see, the color of my dice has changed. You see a few on the right there, a couple on that impassable terrain rock on the right side there. I have, at this point, given up on my POS dice. I've had it with them, so I gathered them all up, walked over to the trash can, and put them where they belong, in the 7th level of garbage. Those dice, may they rot in the deepest, most depraved level of hell for the rest of time. I went over and I borrowed some dice from the store. They're not rolling any better for me, but they're not my old dice. So I'm going to finish out this game with some other dice. And yeah, finally had enough of those dice. I would have burned them, but we didn't have any lighter fluid or anything like that. And to be perfectly honest, I just wanted them out of my sight forever. In fact, I think 2 of them went flying across the store at some point. Not didn't hit anybody or anything like that. I wasn't aiming for anybody, but I may have tried to see if they could fly, and they couldn't. Go figure. One more thing they fail at. Pieces of stuff. But I have new dice that I'm borrowing from the store, which I'm excited about. They're not rolling any better, but at least they're new dice. It makes me feel slightly better. And we go over to bottom of 5, and my Black Knights charge into Bestigors. The hope was I could kill his level 4, maybe garner some points, maybe win this combat, maybe get the unit to break. I know they're probably going to be steadfast, but it was worth a shot. The scouts move up so that the Bloodletters can't charge my Black Knights in the flank because they can't line up to my Black Knights. My Black Knights can't line up to them. So the only legal charge maybe was his Bloodletters into my scouts, which I'm fine with. It was just, the hope or whatever to buy my Black Knight some time to work on the Bestigor unit. And other than that, my caster her job is to try to take the Doom Wheel out before it's too late. That's about it. There's a better picture of my Black Knight slamming into the Bestigors, and I'm just kind of hoping here. Nothing happens in a magic phase. Once again, oh, the dice are just not in my favor at all. And of course, shooting is dead, so we go into combat. Dear God. I roll so abysmally, so embarrassingly bad that every single attack I threw every attack I got, which I think was like 2 or 3 guys, into the level 4 shaman. I was able to slip 1 wound through. No killing blows, nothing from the horses, nothing. And I would love to say that it was because Sex Panther made a whole bunch of crazy ward saves or an armor save or some other weird save. No, it wasn't. It was just my dice rolling. I don't know if my wrist is too limp or not or not limp enough. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. But with new dice, borrowed dice granted, but new dice, even the new dice don't like me. So yeah. After emptying a gun into no, I would have if I had one. Oh my God. So after I flub my roll spectacularly in the worst possible way I could have, the Bestigors. Well, that's not entirely true. I think I killed 2 or 3 Bestigors, but the Bestigors attack back and obliterate my unit. In the end, after combat res, that I charged him. I end up with 1 Black Knight left, and vomit is spewing from my stomach. Just can't believe what just happened. Even Sex Panther was like, oh man, do you want to call it? And I'm like, no, I don't want to call it. I want math to do something right for a change. But yeah, it was so terrible. Oh well, I'm kind of getting used to it. So we go over here to top of 6 after movement, and he's able to slip past my Black Knight and hit my scouts, which is perfectly legal. It would have been great had some more Black Knights been alive, but since there was only 1 left, he was able to slip past him on the wheel and hit my scouts no problem, made the charge, and good for him. His Fleshhound slam into my level 4, and that's not a surprise, and his Doom Wheel ends up right where you're looking. And the Bestigors are just giggling because they're surrounding a Black Knight that doesn't have a clue what to do. And then, of course, I have my other unit of scouts, which are obscured by my opponent's hand, and they're just trying to figure out how to look more like demons so they survive this battle. That's really about it. During the magic phase, he gets Wizen's Wild Form off on his caster, and there's just nothing I can do about that. And then he gets Pan's Impenetrable Pelt. And what I mean by there's nothing I can do about that is he had 8 dice, I had 7. I threw 4 dice at the first spell and to his 3, and I failed to stop it. And then I threw my 3 dice to his 5, and I failed to stop that one as well. So the dice rolls just keep on sucking. We go into combat, and Queen Elizabeth dives into the gullet of 5 fleshhounds, or 3 fleshhounds, whatever it was, and dies a horrible death. And then we go over here, and my one remaining Black Knight is not only not able to do anything to the level 4 Bray Shaman, but the remaining Bestigors cut him into 7 equal-sized pieces and proceed to poop all over them, which I hear is a sign of respect from the Beastmen. So that was kind of nice. Then over here, the Bloodletters are able to just mincemeat the scouts, and there was never any doubt. We go into bottom of 6, but this is it. This is the end of the game. My scouts move over. They try to shoot at the Doom Wheel that's out of range, so I shoot at the Flesh Hounds, and I'm not able to hit. And that's it. That's the end of the game. Nothing else of significance happens, and I die a little on the inside. But, it is what it is. I made some terrible choices. I rolled some terrible dice. And in the end, I still had a lot of fun. So that's what's important. But you know what? We will get to the recap in a minute because right now, this game is over.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Hey guys, you know these tokens, you've seen them 100 times, and you know what? Every time you see them, if you haven't bought them yet, you're just wasting time. Get these tokens. All of the lords of whatever spell you're casting, all the wound counters. You see me use them in every single game, and you've never heard me since I've been using the counters going, I can't remember how many wounds I had, or what spell was on this guy, or whatever. And they're flawless. They're awesome. You're the envy of everyone you play against. Send Token Gal an email. Get these tokens. They're dirt cheap, but they're solid gold quality, guys. I'm telling you, you cannot go wrong. A lot of people have already ordered them, and nobody's returned any. Nobody's even asked to return any. All they do is they order more. Get yours. Get them soon. You're wasting time, and these are totally worth it. Tell her Tremendous sent you. Hey guys, I got another great deal for you. Movement trays. We all use them. We all need them. If you're watching this report, you have some or you need some. And do I have the vendor for you? This guy makes solid metal movement trays. I mean, cuts them to your specifications using a galvanized metal. It's not that cheap, thin, weak aluminum. This stuff is sturdy. I'm using them. I used them all throughout this game. Take a look at the pictures. They're all in there. I love these trays. They're metal, so they auto-magnetize. Well, provided you put magnets on your guys. And he does them dirt cheap, guys. I'm telling you. He's got an eBay page. There's an email on here. Get a hold of this guy, get yourself some movement trays, and get yourself organized. You're going to be thrilled. You can paint them, you can do everything. These things are awesome. My local game store guy is literally in contact with this guy so that he can become a vendor. That's how high quality these things are. So I'm telling you guys, give this guy an email, check out his eBay page, get yourself some movement trays, and stop playing like a Neanderthal. Tell him Tremendous sent you. You won't regret it. Yeah, that's right. I don't know if you were paying attention or not, but we got a few new pictures. So not only does Unleashed Wargaming paint amazing models for commission and stuff like that, send him an email. He does excellent work, as you've seen from the pictures. Not only does he do all the different Magic lore cards for Warhammer Fantasy, I mean every lore. You want Storms of Magic? Send him an email. You want Lore of Fire? Send him an email. You want every lore that's ever been out in 8th edition? Send him an email. These things are solid. They're laminated. They're on cardstock. They're Photoshop made. They're amazing. And they're good. They're well priced, guys. I'm telling you. And now he's also doing 40K cards. The psychic stuff or whatever. I don't play 40k, but if you do, there's nothing wrong with that. But there is something wrong with it if you don't get these cards and if you don't have your models painted by them. Just throwing it out there. Just, you may, if you feel guilty, that's because you know you're wrong. But send this guy an email, get your models looking good, get the cards that you need, get your real game going, and tell him Tremendous sent you. You're not going to regret it. In the end, it was another humiliating defeat for Lord Tremendous. I did trash my dice at least, so that was something. That was something at least, and I'm happy about that. I ended up losing my general, who's a masochist, Elizabeth, Jeffrey, Vincent, the warriors, the archers, one of my scouts, my black knights, my black coach, my casket, my hosts, and my dogs. Or another way to say it is, all I had left was 3 scouts. That's it. Sex Panther ended up losing his Bloodthirster, which is something, and he gave me his Warp Lightning Cannon because he's a gentleman. Even when not being pelted by cannons, though, my general still can't seem to help but dive into lethal damage. He was only wounded 3 times, and not 1 4-up ward was rolled. Granted, I needed to roll 2 4-up wards, but, I see Sex Panther do it all the time like it's not hard, and I don't know what he's doing differently than me. He uses the same dice to pass my leadership checks with the casket as he does to make his ward saves, so I know it's not the dice. I think the guy is just blessed by chaos, and good for him. I hate him. Okay, I'm kidding. I don't. He's a good guy. He's a good player. It's just sometimes I'm so jealous of him. I think I turned green. I'm almost positive. The black coach is an epic piece of garbage. Even with 5 out of 6 power-ups, it was an immense disappointment in every level. Just really, really don't like it. In fact, I don't like it so much, I change my list before my next game, which I'm not really prone to do during gaming days. So I actually stopped and redid my list after this game because I could not even fathom the idea of continuing to play with the list as is. My Skeleton Warriors really got the raw end of the deal in this game. They got, they charged into the Bloodletters, and then my dice were just kind of like, we quit! And the poor bastards had to just take that brunt, getting charged in the flank by the Bastigors. Granted, that was my fault. I should have seen that coming, but I just figured it was my best chance of doing any damage to the Bloodletters before it was too late. Maybe I should have kept them backed up and let the Bloodletters come in, but hindsight's 20/20, and that it is what it is. My Knights getting wrecked by the Bestigors. Just, I know my rolls were trash, but oh my nagash, that was a butt whooping. It's like they grabbed the lances and then beat my unit half to death with them. It was amazing. But the green and white dice, they are trashed. I threw them with hatred into the garbage. Do not be expecting to see them ever again, because if you do, they're either not my dice or the person that's showing them to you is a demon, and you should spit in their face and run as fast as you can, because demons are scary. Honestly, though, rolling D3s would have been a better choice than rolling the dice that I had. All in all, though, I still really did enjoy playing against Sex Panther. This was still a good game, and as always, I'm very much looking forward to the rematch. So I'm sorry my triumphant return from vacation couldn't begin anyway with a victory, but I report I'm honest. I do. Sometimes it's tempting to lie and say my opponents cheat, but that would be awful. And none of them cheat. Sex Panther, he's just too damn good at rolling dice, and that offends me. But I'm kidding, of course. But as always, guys, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, feel free to put them in the comment section below, and I will get back to you as quick as I can. But yeah, guys, thanks.